This is the Impact Dynamics podcast.
I'm still not Andy.
You are not. My name is Rusty.
I'm Plushy.
Yeah, no, you come with that bit.
We did. I'm not Andy. That's right.
No, that's right. And we're talking about the Tasmania APRS. Here we go. Match director, mate. Match director. Hello, Andy.
Hooray!
Hooray. Hope that's enough.
We need your vote.
Now we've caught up to where we are on the podcast.
All right, go on back.
Roll the outro. That went real smooth.
It did.
Plushy.
It did, yeah.
It's probably because we haven't done an episode for a long time. So how are you? Thanks for joining us. We'll get into why Andy's not here, but anyway, how are you?
Going really well, thanks, mate.
Yeah, you are going very well because you achieved something recently that we'll talk about shortly, but it's definitely worth hanging about for because now you're justified in you know what you're talking about.
Oh, don't go there.
All right, we'll delve into that one. Josh, you're here as well.
I am.
You've recovered from being in Tasmania.
I have, mostly.
Mostly?
Somewhat.
What's missing? What are you waiting on?
Sleep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Sleep.
Good luck. We're still within the PRS season, so
Yeah, it's not happening.
Another month or so.
Yeah.
Excellent. So Andy's not here. Andy's still working away, as you guys perhaps know, and we've been putting out a few episodes that were recorded after the Darwin match and sort of previously, and plus there's been one or two from you from the old place, but we are finally back in the new place, and hey, this looks a little bit better than the last ones we filmed in here. Oh, I'm stepping on cables. The cables still need work, but it looks better. There's like a reloading thing and a gun and some rum and
Backdrop.
all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
Pretty good in here. There's Big Buck Hunter.
There's Big Buck Hunter in the corner. I don't know if that one makes under camera.
Can we just go and play Big Buck Hunter instead?
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, cool.
Sure.
Awesome.
Andy, you can do the podcast if you like instead. You've got a soundboard enough, Josh. I'm sure you can keep that. There you go. It's like
we're good.
It's just like he's here.
It is.
It's like Andy's away working. I'm sure he'll be back. But it's been a little while and we were running out of episodes, and also there was a PRS match on the weekend.
There was.
And the three of us all went sort of separately, and there was much to talk about, not the least of which is Plushy, you won.
I did.
Did you bring the trophy in to show it off?
No. I forgot that this is a visual podcast.
Andy wanted to get in on the action to say congratulations.
Well done.
And he's being very vocal for a bloke that's not on the show. Congratulations, mate.
Thank you.
Yeah. Did you want to say a word or something? Or
Yeah, maybe. No, probably I didn't actually get the chance to say thank you at the presentations, actually.
Oh, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
Booted you off stage
Basically,
too quickly.
Crispy just gave me a trophy and said, get out of here.
Is this where I now fade his audio down as he's giving his speech?
We'll just see how long it goes on for.
Okay. I'm ready.
Yeah,
I did.
You
No,
got to bring the music up, not fade his audio down.
Oh, wow, this is awkward.
Not for me.
No, I was just going to thank some. There was like a ton of people that have helped along the way.
Good on them.
Yeah, that's
All
right.
So the match.
Speaking of, they're in the chat. They're listening.
Go
ahead.
Who's the people?
The people.
The people
are
are in
here.
the chat.
No,
They're listening.
there's one person called the people.
Aboard.
They've been very useful.
Welcome aboard, people. It's good to have you here. All right. Anyway, sorry. I'd quickly say who you want to thank. You shout that out.
Oh, no, it was
May
just
as well.
the standard, like the volunteers and the sponsors, Ignition Custom and Swan Barrels and all that sort of stuff. And all those people that make it happen, because there's a ton of work goes into putting on one of these matches, and it can be a bit thankless sometimes. It goes unnoticed. So just wanted to acknowledge those people.
It's true. Well, the match itself was run by the Precision Rifle Tasmania, who did a great job running the first PRS.
Oh, yeah.
It was good. It was smooth. It was slick. It was good. And Crispy ran the course of fire.
He did?
How was that? I didn't shoot it.
It was a good but tough course of fire.
It was tough from what I hear.
There was no berms behind any of the targets except I think 3 of them.
Okay.
Maybe 4 targets out of all of the targets on the range. So feedback. Oh, and the plates were really, really thick. They were 12 mil biz or something like that, and they didn't move when you impacted them at 600, 700, 800 meters. So feedback on your shots was really tough. And if you happen to miss one and you didn't see where it went, you could send 3 or 4.
Yep.
At the same target, trying to work out where it's going, or targets that were harder to hit.
Okay. Well, it was a great range. Now this club has 2 ranges it operates between, and this is the bigger of the 2. And this is a brilliant range. It was sort of cut into like a little forest, effectively, and
it's ex-forestry land, which has all just been felled and basically lying flat on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, 800 meters with the potential to go out to 1,000 in due course.
About 150 meters wide or something like that.
160
I think, at the back.
wide.
Yeah.
Big, huge concrete slab with a nice covering over the top of it, which got put on like a week before the match.
Yeah. How good was the depth of the firing area?
So good. You could have tripod forests everywhere and still be able to get around.
There was,
which is rare. Which is rare. Not the tripod forests; they're very common. But the ability to get around. There's a Nerf dart sitting here. I've got to flick that out of the way. That disappointingly didn't hit you. And beautiful range. And the guys, Kev has been one of the main guys I've been dealing with there, as well as Josh and Crispy, and then Sam. Those guys have made a match happen. And there was heaps of the names that we did meet and are excellent people. But lots of people helped out and pitched into that event. So
they really went off. I think we spoke about it over the course of the weekend. It was clear when a well-organised club runs a match because it just went smoothly.
It did.
There was next to no target failures. Everything went well. The course
a cool little quad bike with a thing on the back.
I so wanted to have a ride on that.
At least you got to shoot off it. But our journey starts a couple of days before. Our journey, our attempted journey.
False start.
So Josh and I got to the airport. Were we the first ones there, Josh?
We were, yes.
I think we were the first ones there. So we got to the airport and we thought, rather than checking in, we shall wait because, we're doing the weight shuffle. We're doing the weight shuffle. We're shuffling weight around between things. We had a whole stack of stuff to take, prizes and bits and pieces to take over. And we thought, we'll wait till other people get here because we can, might be able to help them out with weight. They might be able to help us out. A little bit of a balancing act.
Yeah, we might be able to dump merch on people.
Yeah, pretty much. Hey, you bought a hoodie. Here you go. I can't fit it in. So a few things like that. Anyway, we waited, and then Singway Aaron came up, and we were standing there in line, and a Jetstar lady came up and said, "Are you on the Hobart flight?" And we said, "Yep, absolutely." And she's like, "Well, you're not now, bitches." I think that was her. I think that was right.
You know what? I wish that she would have said that. It would have been way better.
She had sass.
Your flight's been cancelled. Our flight was cancelled. And
mine too. Mine too.
Weird. And so we had our flights cancelled, and so we waited. I'm not sure quite what we were waiting for. I think we're just shocked. Josh, you and I floated the idea of trying to find out if there was a flight to Singapore we could get on to go see the Formula One.
Was very ready to jump on that flight.
Yeah, probably
sell the merch on the way through.
Yeah, sell all the PRS merch in Singapore.
Yeah,
and pay for the weekend. That wouldn't have had any long-term consequences at all. And so we thought about that, but lucky we didn't because it rained all weekend. And anyway, they then said that they'd rebooked a new flight. You were about to drive to Melbourne or something and fly out of there.
We investigated flights to Melbourne. We're like, it's going to be easier to get to Hobart from Melbourne.
And this is this bloke sitting there going, I always fly Qantas, but I booked Jetstar, booked the Dirty Bird for this one. And then you're like, typical, just, being all a Qantas snob. He's like, fly Qantas to Melbourne, and then the price was like $1,400 or something.
We asked how much it was, and he said, "You don't want to know." There was only there's only 2 seats left. We're like, okay,
yeah. So they put a bird on in the morning, and about 6 o'clock. So we all had to go home, or some of us went to hotel rooms because they were too far away, and then we all reconvened, and Josh and I were the last ones to arrive in the morning.
Yeah, it was busy.
Although we did the luggage swap and shuffle the night before.
That's right.
So we were all squared away. And then we went on, booked in. You guys were checking in after you. Now, I had a bit of ammo I was carrying for other people. One of them was you. And we went through and we had a lovely lass at Jetstar who was doing all the guns and all the ammo booking. She did a great job almost. And I was the last one because I figured, you guys have got guns and stuff like that. We'll be
that's because I pushed in front of you.
You did.
So this could have happened to me.
So anyway, I was the last one. I said, hey, I've got ammo. Here's my form. Here's my license, all the things. She went through the list and she was, had a list all ready to go. And then, put it through. Sweet. We're in this mammoth line. And it was, how long did it take you to get through this line, Josh?
I didn't get through the line.
You got in the plane, so you obviously got through the line.
I did, but I didn't get through to actually go through normally. I had to wait until they got to the last, hey, your flight is boarding in 5 minutes. Can you jump up the queue?
And you had been in the line nearly an hour at that point.
It would have been. It was over an hour.
Over an hour. So the line to get through security was north of an hour.
It had double backed on itself and looped on itself.
Yeah. You start
impressive.
spiraling internally.
Well, we started chatting on the plane about whether Josh was going to make the plane. He was.
Well, you're jumping ahead. You're jumping ahead a little bit. So, so while we were in this line, we've been in there for about 20 minutes. My phone rang, and someone from Jetstar had called me, and they're like, "Look, there's a problem with your luggage. You need to come and see the AFP." I'm like, "Okay." They're like, "Are you through the terminal? Through the security yet?" I'm like, "Not yet." And they're like, "Okay, well, you need to just come to the front counter then." I'm like, "Can I?" Like, I didn't want to lose my spot in line, and so I'm like, Can I not? Can I wait till I get through?" And they're like, "No, you need to come right now." I'm like, "Oh." So I hedged my bets, and perhaps I got this wrong, but I'm like, "Josh, stay here. I'm going to go and work out what's." So at least I could come back into the line, which is already 15, 20 minutes deep into. Went back to them. They're like, "Oh, there's a problem with your bag. We need to go and see the federal police." I'm like, "Okay, let's go." And so I then got Express. Now, you went through the priority security briefing because you're all rich and snobby and stuff. Actually, that is not true at all. You were with someone else. But
yeah, he was very rich and very snobby.
Anyway, your priority, and I went into the priority line with this Jetstar lady, and she like tapped everyone on the shoulder, like, make way, make way, make way, make way. And I'm like, we're not that big a podcast, but yeah, okay, cool. Cheers. We're through straight through security. We got to the bit where they're like, "Oh, can you grab the laptops and iPads and stuff out of the bag?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." Grab the laptop out, put it in, and then like went to open the bag. She's like, "Oh, you just have to grab your laptop out." I said, "You always said iPad as well, didn't you?" She's like, "Oh, yeah. You've got one as well." I'm like, "Yes, I do." And of course, I've got all the scoring iPads. So she like saw me open it up and start grabbing iPads out of the bag, and she lost interest. She's like, "I'll see you on the other side of the booth." So she went off. I'm just grabbing iPads after iPad after iPad, putting them into the tray and going through. Went through security into the room with AFP, and they're like, "Oh, you've got undeclared ammo in your thing." I'm like, "Well, I declared it. Here's my form. Here's the tag on the bag that's signed to say I declared it." Anyway, they were fantastic. They were really good to deal with, really easy, and there's one element. So the baggage guy was there. And they're like, "Okay, well, what else is in your bag?" And so I've opened the bag at this point. We're looking at it, and there's spotting scopes and tripods. And the AFP lady was like, "Oh, that all makes sense and stuff." And she's like, "Okay, it all looks fine." And then the baggage guy had this thermal scan of the bag, and he's like, "What's this? There's all this energy down this one end here. What's that?" And there's this big long thing that obviously was metal of some sort. And I'm looking around, and I'm thinking in my head, like, there's an AFP lady, this baggage handler next to me, and myself in the middle. I'm like, we are all looking at the same suitcase. What, like, I mean, why are you asking me? It's literally in front of you. But anyway, after a few minutes of like him sort of pestering me about it, I'm like, "You don't mean this stapler, do you?" I had the matchbook stapler, which is like a longer stapler, so I can get over into the middle of the matchbook. I'm like, "Do you mean this stapler? Is that what you're concerned about?" And the AFP lady just rolled her eyes. Like, oh. And she's like, "Bag it all up. You're all good to go. Off you go." Off you go. Yeah, so I got held up for a stapler. And anyway, so I'm like, "Oh, I wonder if I'm going to make my plane." I had no concept at the time because I'm just making sure I answer all the questions and stuff. Went to the gate. There's no one at the gate. And I'm like, "Well, it says Hobart, so I'll just walk through. They scan me in." I'm like, "Oh, I'm good. Cool." Walked in, and I was somehow scored row number 1. And I'm like, "Oh, row number 1, completely free. All right, sit down there." Bang, sit down. And then I saw you, so I came over to you, and I think you messaged. I said, "Oh, thanks heaps for the breeze through security," and told you what's happened. You're giggling away. And then you messaged me while we're on the plane. It's like, "Did you make Josh sit down the back somewhere while you got front row seats?" And I'm like, I assume so. Like, sounds like something I do. So I messaged Josh. I'm like, "You on the plane?" And he's like, "I'm still in the line for security."
Still standing there.
Just waiting.
Just waiting.
And
waiting.
You know, we got like a 90%, 95% full plane, but I could work out that there was a lot of people in security that were getting stuck. So I'm like, just show them the SMS that they just sent saying the boarding is closing. And Josh, I booked the flights. So he's like, "I don't have the SMS. So I screenshot it. I said, I'll show them that. Where did you go from that, Josh?
Well, probably like a minute or two before you had messaged me. Like old mate had done the call for, I think it was Melbourne, the one before us. And I just like quickly said to him, and I was like, what about Hobart? Like looked at the time and I was like, Hobart leaves pretty soon. And he was like, oh, I'll call you in 5 minutes. I'm like, but the thing up there says like 10 minutes. So yeah, luckily got through. But it was the one time I got through that they wanted a really, really good look through my camera bag. Apparently they don't like the look of batteries and cameras and lenses and all the other bits and pieces.
A really big, thick lithium battery, not so friendly through the scanner.
No, not really.
Yeah, we're going to the US next year, and Josh is going to have a fun time at all the airport security because I had the same fun time previously when I've gone. Anyway.
So my takeaway was that we did you a favour.
Yeah.
We got you through security quicker into your comfy row 1 seat. We've done you a favour.
Yeah. I'll say thank you when I appreciate it.
I wouldn't hold the breath on that one.
Yeah, cool. Anyway, from there on in, Josh eventually made it onto the plane, and then he walks in and then starts walking down the plane and gets, I don't know how far you got, Josh, or what clicked in your head, and then realised he was actually in row 1.
I saw that.
He was sitting next to me.
Yeah, I think I was that just like, cool, just get on the plane. All right, I'm on the plane. Whatever
in
now.
Fact, get more on the plane. Get further into the plane. Maybe I'm not on the plane enough.
That is pretty much exactly. It's crazy.
Anyway, so the rest, and then there was a match after that. It was all good.
We have an important question from Ignition.
Oh, sorry.
What caliber was the stapler?
22 because there was the two bits.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
cool. Just thought we'd get the important questions out of the way.
Thanks. What were we going to Tassie for? Again, I forget.
Freestyle PRS shooting.
Stapler matches.
Freestyle PRS shooting. We went to stapler matches. All right, cool. Yeah, we got there. So really, the delay wasn't that big a deal. We got into town. They pushed the high card back. All the things happened, and we honestly got to the range probably about an hour and a half behind where we were intending to get, which was well and truly in time for practice anyway.
Yeah, I think when we sort of looked at it and we're like, you know what, if they had a direct flight on Friday morning, I would have been on it anyway.
Yeah.
So it was a pain, but it wasn't the end of the world.
It was fine. It was fine. We came back. We did a podcast that night, and we came back and made the most of it. So.
Oh yeah, we did too.
We would have just been at some pub in Tasmania drinking espresso martinis anyway.
Would have been the Richmond Arms.
Instead, we were just drinking gin here.
That's right. All right, so that's our journey to Hobart. The journey back was a lot calmer. And then Friday, normal deal, practice match thing, and we did the stuff. Friday night was you guys came for dinner, I think, you and Tim. And
pretty low key.
That's right. The place was booked out of the hotel we went to, and we had to sit outside. And there was a dog barking outside. And all these exciting stories. Anyway, Hobart, Tassie just kept on giving.
I'd forgotten about that dog.
Yeah,
I was trying to appreciate that.
Welcome.
Put
that back in.
That was a tough half an hour.
It was. That dog nearly got yeeted, I'm pretty sure. And then Saturday rolls through. So let's get into the actual match, Plushy. How did you kick off the match? How did Friday, wind back, now we're jumping all over the place. Friday, how did practice go for? What did you do?
What did I do?
What did you do?
I checked my zero.
Yep.
I went with a clean rifle, so I'd cleaned it back to like copper, carbon, everything.
Yep. Okay.
So I'm like, it'll take 10, 15 shots to settle down, which is what it did.
Yep.
And I'm like, nah, it's pretty good. And I just adjusted the tuner just to tidy it up a little bit, and then it was pretty bad. And we were limited on ammo anyway because we flew. So and it was a pretty decent round count match. I think we said about 174.
174.
So I think I flew with 240 because you took all that stuff to the federal police for us.
You're welcome.
And then I think I ended up using 40 shots to get my zero back on my rifle shooting where it was by the time I fiddled with the tuner and got it back. And I just turned it back to where it was and said, that'll do.
Yep.
And sent a few shots down at, that was pretty funny actually. The targets at 800 meters. There was only, I think it was 3 targets at 800 and one at 300 or 400 meters on the Friday.
Yep.
And I shot at the little one at 800 meters and I was like, well, trace looked pretty good on that. I think I got it, but the plate didn't move. I'm like, I sent another one. I'm like, no, the trace on that was really good. Nothing. And I was like, okay, there's a big one over on the side. I must be missing and can't see it. I sent one. I'm like, the trace definitely hit it, but it did not move. I was like, right. And I was like, okay, there's a little rock on the berm. I'm going to shoot that. And then I hit the rock and exploded the rock. I'm like, okay, so it's doing what it's supposed to be doing.
Yep.
And then I went back onto the little target and shot the little target at 800 meters. And I watched the trace onto it. And then the plate, it's just a bit hard on a podcast, but the plate went sort of dunk, like one little wiggle.
One little dunk.
One little wiggle. Yep. And you're like, oh, this is going to be a hard match. If they're the targets they had up, and they were the targets they had up.
There you go. Okay.
So we started Saturday morning. It was much like that for everybody.
Well, on Saturday, we promised we'd do this early in the podcast. So on Saturday, a good friend of ours from years ago called One Shot Scott came along, and his lovely wife, fiance, partner, I'm questioning this in my head. Anyway, Heidi as well rocked up, and they came for a little look. And we hung out with Scott a little bit over the weekend, but the reason I bring him up particularly for those who've seen the Centurion Challenge, or he's the guy who shot a PRS match with a single shot O mark, and from that he got the nickname One Shot Scott. And One Shot Scott gave us a bottle on the weekend of One Shot Scott rum. So in honor of One Shot Scott and One Shot Scott rum.
Hold that up in front of the camera so they can appreciate the glory of the bottle.
The glory of the bottle has Scott in the
Centurion Challenge.
Dress. Yeah. He wore the kilt during the Centurion Challenge.
Insert clip here.
It does appear that he has something hanging out the bottom of his kilt. But anyway, so we shall have one shot of One Shot Scott rum, which smells amazing.
It does.
By the way, we did sneak a smell in before.
Where's the boxing gloves for after that, though?
Bare knuckles tonight.
Don't need boxing gloves.
Bare knuckles.
Yeah. Yeah, if you have enough rum, you don't really worry about. Oh,
well, that's Josh. That's Josh's.
No, Josh has to drive.
I have a big drive home.
Yeah, I will have that one. There you go. One for you, mate. I'm going to take this one over to Josh. All right, say amusing things, Plushy.
Amusing things.
Do interesting stuff.
Oh, wow.
That's really not amusing.
That's not amusing at all. This stuff smells amazing.
Well,
if there was smell through podcast, everybody would be agreeing. Yeah.
We've got all the comments tonight.
Oh, do we?
All of the comments.
This isn't this. Okay, all right, carry on.
Let's jump. I'll jump back through them because there's literally that much.
All right.
We have Dirty Fox says evening.
Evening,
Hello.
Dirty Fox.
We have Style Canton says hey dudes.
What up?
We have Ignition is here. They've said many things. I can't be bothered going through all of them.
Fair enough.
Be quiet.
Rosie is here. Rosie has said hello.
Hello, Rosie.
Hey, Rosie.
We have Robert Downton. He has said, Ranger rep, well shot over the weekend.
Well done.
There you go.
Perfect comment.
We
Tom
said
H
well done
is
to
here.
yourself.
I did. I know it was well done to the Ranger comment.
Lovely.
Well done, Plushy.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Tom H says evening.
Hello, evening, Tom.
All right.
Is that Tom Hanks?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Is that what you said?
Yeah, Tom H.
Okay.
We'll go with Tom Hanks.
Yeah,
that sounds way better.
Good.
Yeah, let's do that.
Nice, like the box of rum.
Yeah.
Shall we try our rum?
All right.
We shall.
Cheers, Scotty.
Cheers. Oh, yeah.
Oh, hello. Oh. And after that one,
My mouth.
just
Sorry.
last
there's more.
comment. Rob Stewart says, good evening and congratulations on the win.
Thanks,
you.
Rob.
Thanks.
What are you saying
your
thanks
win.
for? Oh,
I mean,
win.
just, get up and just win.
you should try it.
Yeah, noticed you tried it recently. How'd it go for you? Anyway,
I wasn't expecting it.
All right, cool. Now back to what do we do a podcast about? Shooting. That's
Shooting.
right.
Freestyle PRS.
Precision Rifle Stapler Series.
Precision rifles. Okay. Saturday.
What did we do? Saturday there was...
Tell us an interesting stage or two. You got a matchbook, don't you, Josh, somewhere?
I do. I'll get it.
All right, go do that. That'll help.
First day, there's 12 stages crammed into Saturday.
Oh, yeah, that was fun.
That was good. We didn't have much, any squads of, what, 8-ish? Yeah, so you didn't have much downtime.
Yep.
So lots of, regular shooting. First stage for our squad was skill stage 2. Right, cleans. Everyone's going to get clean. It's only 360 metres.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to do this, right?
How did that go for you?
Well, the first 4 people, I think the top score was 3.
Wow.
And we're like,
wow.
The bullets.
And you some good shooters in your squad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
That's not a matchbook.
There was some very good shooters in our squad.
We need the matchbook, Josh. It would be better if... Yeah, watching. We would be better to have the matchbook.
Right.
Okay, cool.
Skill
stage 2. We all know the skill stage 2.
Nice, easy stage to start the weekend off with. We'll,
You're talking very well.
we're going to get clean. We're going to feel good about ourselves. We're going to the next stage and we'll get it rolling.
Yep.
First person gets a 1. Next person gets a 2 or something. And there was a 3 and a 1. And we're like, The projectiles, if you didn't get a first round impact, they just went into the ether. There was nothing behind. There was no feedback, and it's not close enough off of the barricade. You can see trace when you're shooting.
And there's this is just a pretty flat range.
Yeah. No, there's no dirt spraying up, nothing.
It was very wet, and you pretty much needed a boat to change targets. it was a swamp.
Yep.
Literally, one quarter of the entire range was a swamp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're having a big long debate before the stage started about tripod rear or not tripod rear. They were like, oh, do we have to set it up on the clock? They're like, no, you don't. We're like, oh, that's not so bad. And there's people saying, well, I don't need tripod rear. Like I can clean the skill stage without tripod rear.
Yeah.
And then some of those people got 1s and 2s. We're like, well, tripod rear it is. I decided to use tripod rear. I'm like, I'm going to try and at least get some feedback if I miss. And
so, Plushy, let me ask you a question because you actually know what you're doing. And so, I mean, normally speaking to Andy, so
Hey, Andy.
Wow, that was all the Andy voices. So you come out to a stage and you've got the option to run tripod rear. What throws you towards doing it versus not doing it?
Whether you have to set it up on the clock.
Okay.
It takes me 10 seconds to set my tripod up on the clock.
Yep. So that's time gone.
Lost time.
Okay.
How many times I have to move the tripod.
Yep.
So, and then the order that the barricades have to be utilised.
Is that because you can move your tripod one way easily but not the other?
Correct. So it's much easier to drag your tripod from the right to the left than it is to go from the left to the right.
Unless you're left-handed?
Well, yeah, but those people just shouldn't even be allowed to use tripods.
Or you can just...
That's right.
Okay, gotcha.
You can just kick it with your feet.
They can use staplers.
Okay.
So yeah, those are they're the two main considerations.
Left-handed stapler.
But they're time losing scenarios or whatever you want to call them.
Okay.
But then if you have 2 shots per position on the same target, with tripod rear you get the follow up shot. It's like modified prone. See, the follow up shot is very quick.
Okay.
So you get time back by using tripod rear.
So you effectively go into it with the attitude of I will use tripod rear unless this. Do you sway more that way?
If the option's there, I'll use it. Yeah.
Yeah. If it would be you're looking for a reason not to use it as opposed to a reason to justify using it.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So yeah, if it comes down to if I use it, I can't get all my shots off. I'll put it away.
Yep.
Or then you ask the question, do I have to take it with me everywhere I go?
Yep.
Sometimes you can leave it somewhere on a particularly tricky barricade or something like that, and you go plonk it there and do everything else and come to it when you need it. Yeah.
Okay.
This is where I take issue with all you PRS shooters because you all run rear support with your tripods and you make my photos look way worse than they would have otherwise.
Just need to design better stages there, Josh.
Yeah, but you got some sneaky photos in this weekend, Josh.
Josh always gets sneaky photos.
But he had the depth of the range to hold the work. He didn't know he was there.
I have probably one of my favourite photos from the weekend is Angry Plushy.
Oh,
it is fantastic.
There was a couple of those.
So for those guys watching live, you won't see it, but for those guys watching on YouTube and not listening, you will be watching the Angry Plushy photo right now.
Right now.
And if you want a print of the Angry Plushy photo, you can head to our website, angryplushy.com, and download yourself or get a big print of the Angry Plushy photo.
Right. Have you ordered the stickers yet?
Website may or may not work.
Terms and conditions apply.
That's right. But if there's enough interest, we may get Angry Plushy. We should do you see those like the 2 prints, and so you can have like Angry Plushy and Happy Plushy.
Oh, we have the many emotions of Plushy over the weekend.
Okay, all right.
We did. Yeah,
so if you guys want to order a many emotions of Plushy set of prints, you can do so.
Oh, we should make a book.
We could do one of those. What are
the
those?
Many fingers of Maxwell and the many emotions.
Oh, Jesus.
It's actually Maxwell's only got one finger.
But there's many photos.
Maxwell's one of the guys who ROs regularly, and every single photo he's in, there's flipping the bird.
We might need to make this website. There is demand. The demand is here already.
Gosh, go register the domain. It's a race now. It's a race. Can I register the domain? Oh no, this is going to be edited. This is going to end up being a 2-show, two episode podcast. I got a feeling. Have another drink. Right. Cool. Sorry. While I register this domain, possibly, do you want to? So, is there any other notable stages from Saturday that you would like to talk
Give me
about?
that thing.
You are welcome to have that thing.
Skills 2. Next one was all right.
I want to jumping back to one thing you said earlier, and I remember you saying it early on Saturday morning, where you said first round impacts are worth 2, 3, 4
I remember you
points
saying that.
during the weekend.
I did say that word.
Just that's how important it was to get onto target early. Was you weren't just getting a point, you were making up 2, 3 points because that's how critical it was.
Yeah, after the first stage, I managed to get a clean on the first one, and a lot of people didn't. I looked at it, and then we started the second stage, which went all the way out to 800 metres, and a lot of people didn't get cleans on that one. I think I dropped 1 or 2. I can't remember. I'd sort of looked, and I thought to myself, first round impacts, like I said, first round impacts are worth 2 points at least, sometimes 3 points, because heaps of people were spending 1, 2 or 3 shots, and the targets were getting further away and harder to impact. To work out what their win call was. So if you got on early, you had a huge advantage over the people that weren't.
Yeah, I remember talking to a few people, and they were saying that rather than necessarily having the first shot, getting instant feedback and correcting, it was more first shot. Oh, all right, I'm going to try this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, that didn't work. All right, now I'm going to try this. Okay, that one worked. Go with that.
Yeah.
You weren't so much making properly educated guesses as going, all right, I'm going to try couple things first, then if none of them work, well, then I have to really think outside the box.
Yeah, absolutely. I probably spent more time on glass this match than I've ever done. Than I've ever done before.
AngryPlushy.com is registered.
What about small Simon Plush? Is that on there?
What was that?
Small Simon Plush? No?
Small?
No. Apparently,
the OnlyFans site, I think. Right. One of the things we had to do in Tassie was make sure we ran some Bearded Chap gear, because Bearded Chap gear is good. This is our sponsor for the show. This is the beard oil. Now, many of you guys watching will know Josh and I particularly are big fans of gin and tonic. You're pretty partial to gin and tonic, aren't you?
I'm getting into it, yeah.
We had one tonight earlier, or 2 or 7. This is the gin and tonic beard oil. Try some of that.
I will.
Dab a little bit, chuck it through, rub it in, enjoy it. And this is so one of the things we like about Bearded Chap is, one, Luke is the owner and he's a shooter, and so we like supporting him. It's very good. Ooh. And 2, they make real, like, all natural sort of stuff. So it's all good for you sort of stuff, and it's actually really good. So tell us how that smells, man.
It's really citrusy.
Yeah.
Yeah, very citrusy.
Mm-hmm. Now, Josh, if you had
that's going down much better than the germ killer from last time, isn't it?
I was just seeing the military grade hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
That was not pretty.
Yeah, this is probably military grade gin and tonic beard oil, as far as I can say. I'm not very good at reading, but I think that's what it says.
It is. I can actually jump in with a plug for these guys.
Oh, here we go.
I use their coffee scrub, and it's my routine now.
You're jumping ahead. That was going to be the next episode plug.
Oh, okay.
Right,
well,
so
I'll save it for next time.
This is the gin and tonic oil. We're a well-oiled machine with beard oil.
We are.
Apart from the bit over there. And so that's it. So the important thing is you can go to thebeardedchap.com/impact. And not only you'll be getting yourself some amazing beard oil, supporting a shooter who owns a company, you'll also be supporting the podcast. So we can keep doing this.
Do it.
You can decide.
Do it now.
That's a good thing, but yeah, that's it. So you can either use the code IMPACT at checkout, or you can go to thebeardedchap.com/impact. Grab yourself some gin and tonic beard oil, or some of the normal beard oil, or some of the
deodorant,
Pineapple Express. There's deodorant, all the stuff. But anyway, beard oil. Get into it. And the beard oil, just so you know, it's not for the beard. It's for the skin under the beard, little cars of skin. There's beard balm that goes there, but that's not. We'll talk about that another time. The beard oil is for inside the beard and the skin and the.
And just remember, don't mix that up with germ killer. It's not recommended.
That's right. And also, don't mix it up for real gin and tonic, because otherwise, off-label use, don't recommend it. Not as bad as I was expecting, though. Anyway, Plushy. Sorry, any particular stages that are worthwhile before Josh interrupts another?
The back and forth, I think.
Yeah, sometimes it takes a moment to be like, oh, I forgot what the name was, but this is what it is. Tractor. What a great name.
That was a good day. That was a good stage.
Okay.
This is really not good for podcast. No, I'm just trying to remember.
That's all right.
They were all really good. Crispy did a really good job of. It was a well balanced match in the sense that it's
lots of different things.
Lots of different things. Yeah. Pick Your Poison was an interesting one, actually.
Is that a stolen one from Butters?
I don't know. I've never shot one of Butters' matches.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll pretend it's original then.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
good stage, Crispy. I like your originality. Pick Your Poison. It was 105 seconds was a common stage time. Actually, I think it was almost every stage except for the skills 2, which has to be 90 seconds.
Okay.
9 shots, unlimited equipment. So they had 3 targets at 300 meters, a 20, a 15, and a 10 centimeter target. 3 targets at 604 meters, a 40, 30, and 24 centimeter, and 3 targets at 799 meters, 58, 47, and 30 centimeters.
Right.
And the shooter had to nominate which target from each of the distances they were going to shoot. So at 300 you could choose small, medium, large, and then at 604 you could choose one of the other 2 that you haven't already selected, and 799 the remaining. So you might go small, medium, large as an example. And then the shooter moved to one of 3 barricade positions. And I'm just reading the stage. You ended up from each of the positions, you shot the one that you nominated. So the small at 300, the medium at 604, and the large at 799. Change position, do it again with a bit of funky. You only took 2 shots in one position and 4 shots in another, or something, just to throw in a bit of a twist in there. So you had to really think about, did you want to go for the large target at 300 and maybe get some good feedback? But then the medium and small targets at 604 and 799 were a bit smaller, disproportionately small. So you were kind of better off weighing up your options and maybe going for the medium-sized target at 300. The small one was very small, so it kind of threw a bit of complexity in there for people to make a decision, and that could really affect what happened at the rest of the stage.
Yeah, okay. It's I think Butters calls it choose your poison, but it's all shot at one distance. That's a very interesting mix there with more challenges downrange than you have back.
Yeah. A lot of people just said small, medium, large because that's going to give me the biggest target at the greatest distance. But the small target at 300 was only 10 centimeters wide. That's a pretty sporty target.
Yeah. Okay.
And it actually worked out. You were better to go from measurings. Medium, small, large was the best way to do it.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So once you started milling the target sizes, it
made more sense.
A bit better. Yeah. Bit better way of going.
That's a good dynamic.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, there was another good one.
Parallax Blues? Is that
yes, Parallax Blues.
So tell us about this, because this is the card stage, is it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I'm curious about this.
The range office were giving you a playing card.
Yep.
And then you had to go find it on the target board, and the target board was at 150 metres. And then you had a gong, 58 centimetre gong at 800 metres. So the stage was there was 3 barricade positions. There's a prone position and 2 barricade positions. And the order of fire was from prone, you shoot 1 shot at 150 metre your playing card.
Yep.
And then 2 shots at the 800 metre target.
Yep.
And then you change to the barricade that was shot kneeling, not sitting, as some people did. That was a hot topic. what constitutes kneeling and sitting?
It's very easy on that one. If you're on your bum, you're sitting.
What about if your bum's on your foot that's on the ground?
No, your bum's on the ground. That's when you're sitting.
Yeah, there was some arguments.
This is a very easy one to sort out. Is you say if your bum is on the ground, you're sitting. That's it, only rule. And then if you are not in that position and your knee down at all, you're kneeling.
Gotcha.
There'd
be a few people that'd be cursing at the podcast right now.
That's fine, but if that was me running the stage of the match, that's my definition of sitting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So then you change from prone to kneeling off the barricade, 1 shot at the card, and then 2 shots at the 800 metre target, and then move to the next position on the barricade, standing, 1 shot at the card, 2 shots at the 800 metre target, and then there was a prize awarded for the best 3-shot group on the playing card. Now, the Parallax Blues, hence the name, you couldn't have your parallax adjusted to 150 and 800 and be acceptable on either. You either had to dial it as you went or make a compromise.
Yep.
Which was
shout
challenging.
Out to Jane, who got the tightest group
she did.
on that, which was very impressive.
Yeah.
It took a long time for guys to measure up on that particular group to work out if it was 2 or 3 shots. But I looked at it and I thought it was 3.
Yeah, I looked at that one too.
Yeah, you're not so convinced. You can tell it was controversy.
I was not convinced. I actually measured the group sizes. Yeah. I did Jane. Where's James? Come on.
He's still bitter. He's still bitter.
I'm still bitter.
Yeah.
So Jane shot a 3-shot group. At 150 metres, the group size was 0.19 MOA. which is very impressive. Off of prone, throw 3 different positions. Then Lucas McKenny, you'd expect him to do well, but he did. He shot a.
You'd expect him to do as well, but he did.
But he did.
But he did.
He
I
shot
don't know whether to be offended or congratulatory of that.
.336 MOA.
Yep.
3-shot group, verified.
Mm-hmm.
And I shot a .356 MOA group, 3-shot group. Just quietly, mine was closest to the center of the target as well.
No one cares.
The aiming point, yeah.
No one cares.
I don't think anyone did.
No one cares.
No.
No. Well done to Jane.
Yeah.
Well done,
Congratulations, Jane.
Well done, Jane.
Rosie
Very-
says well done,
very
Jane, too.
impressive.
Everyone
Lots of
says
people
well
saying
done,
well done,
Jane.
Jane.
Yep. Everyone but Plushy says well done, Jane. Everyone but Plushy. Plushy?
Yeah.
Next, any other stages on Saturday that were of interest
I
also?
think that was they were all good stages, but they were the standout stages for me, yeah.
Nice. And so where did you finish up? I'm taking that off you so you can't skip ahead. I don't want you to see the answers. Where did you so Saturday, how did it go overall for you? Where did you finish up? How did you feel after you shot the match?
So I don't know what you want to call it. My general feel about how I go for a day.
The vibe
I get
the
from my day
Marbo,
shooting.
the
Yeah,
Constitution.
exactly.
Yeah, those things.
Yeah, I generally underestimate how I've gone. So I was like, I've had a okay day, but it could have been better.
Yeah.
I didn't have any bad stages, which was critical.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't shoot an outstanding day either.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, top 5 would be happy with. There was only 32 competitors, but there were some good competitors there.
Some very good competitors there.
Yeah. So I thought top 5 is probably realistic.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got to what do we call them? Saturday night dinner. Yeah.
Yep. Dinner's usually what we
Crispy called out the top 3 and I was 3rd. And I was like, oh, that's pretty good.
Happy days.
Yeah, happy days. I've been in this position before and it didn't work out so well for me.
Choked badly. Yep. Okay.
So I was relatively happy with where I went. Actually, I was most happy about not having a bad stage.
Okay.
I think my lowest score was a 6 out of 9 shot.
Yeah. Okay. Solid.
Which is not
solid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a bit of flexing there. Sorry. No.
What was your worst score, Josh?
So, Josh, I wanted to swing it over to you, and I wanted to ask you because, Josh, you had change your camera setup. Now, most people know you at a PRS match or in the PRS context. You're like running around with at least one camera, generally a couple, and filming and taking photos and all these sort of things. Now, you had reconfigured the camera setup.
I had.
And how was it? How were you feeling by Saturday end of the day?
I was pretty happy actually.
Yeah, that's what
I was very happy.
Yeah.
I was more, it wasn't like, oh, this is okay. I was like, could this range be my favorite for the year? It was a contender. It was close.
It was a contender. Okay, very good, very good. Well, I apart from some tweaks and bits and pieces to practice score early in the morning, my day was pretty cruisy. I'm pretty much there just to help out where needed, and do bits and pieces and just be on hand for support as needed. I try to keep a little bit of ability to like let the match run, let the match director do things and get a lot of stuff right and give some feedback on stuff. I don't want to sort of run in and change everything or in those lines. So, but I'm there on tap if need be.
I think you know how when things are going well, most people don't actually realize you're at the range. I had someone come up to me middle of one of the days going, oh, is it just you here this weekend? And I was like, no, Rusty's round. He's up there.
Yeah, just saying. I mean, I'm usually doing work, I've got the laptop out or doing something or other, or harassing.
Just sleeping on the
someone,
couch.
Or just, whatever it was. I didn't fall asleep once. Cool. So I kind of want to, Saturday night. So you're in 3rd position, right? What do? You've hung around for dinner. We've had dinner at the range and you've headed off. What's going through your mind? What do you do? What's your routine at that point?
Gotcha. I try really, really hard not to get into the result, to not think about what could happen. That'll absolutely
not to start playing it out in your mind.
I can't do that.
Could go.
I can only think about visualizing the next shot, how I'm going to run the stages, how I'm going to break the trigger, all of those sorts of things. So I was kind of, oh, that's really good. I can't remember how many points behind I was first place. It wasn't a lot, 4 or 5 or something like that. So went back.
Who was in front of you out of interest?
I think Lucas and Ash.
Okay.
I think. I can't exactly remember. Yeah, I think so. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Cool.
So we went straight back to the hotel, pulled the guns out of the car, and this was a match for me that I think I'd commented to you in the lead up that I've put some effort into trying to do some things right.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I've actually taken the lead up seriously and done some dry fire practice and really made sure everything was how I wanted it to be. And I said to myself I was going to do the same thing. I was going to go back to the room and clean the rifles, just make sure all my gear was bang on point, repack, all that sort of stuff, make sure everything was doing what I needed it to be doing. And I went back and did all those things, read the match book, and it was daylight savings. Ticked over on Sunday morning.
We lost an hour. Except the matchbook told us we gained an hour. Damn lying matchbook.
Yeah.
Daylight saving commence. Move clocks back 1 hour. I read that. I'm like, oh, this is the best thing ever. And they're
Sleep
like,
in.
It was not.
it was not. It was not. But anyway.
So I think I was in bed by 9 o'clock.
Yep.
Which with daylight savings corrected was 10 o'clock. I'm like, oh, it's not too bad. And
Yeah, that's better than I was. Yep.
yeah, up at 5. I tend to get up pretty early at matches and have a shower and have some breakfast and all those sorts of things.
Yep.
Just got back into the routine and back into it. Nothing unusual, but yeah, just cleaning the action, just all those.
Yep.
All
You
those
don't do any
things.
dry fire practice. You just start trying to work out the stages or anything. Is there any of that sort of
Not
stuff?
really.
No, you
I
don't.
would have.
You don't sort of start looking through, being like, oh, I'll practice this. or
I did
try-
have a bit of a flick through.
Yep.
But there was nothing in there that I sort of got a bit of a feel for the flavour of the match.
Okay.
And there was nothing in there I was like, oh, that's going to catch me out.
Gotcha.
Obviously going to catch me out.
Yeah,
Like if
yeah.
there was a sling stage in there, I would have been practicing sling shooting
Righto.
that
Yep.
night.
How did that go for your last match?
The sling shooting?
Yeah.
I hit more targets than I thought I would.
One.
No, I got both my prone unsupported shots and my
Oh,
first
there
and
you
second shot on the stage. And I was like, I don't know what to do now. I didn't plan on getting past here. Like, how do you shoot sitting supported with a sling? Does anyone know?
Okay, cool. So that's Sunday night for you. As a contrast, Josh, what did you do Saturday night? Sorry, Saturday night. I'm jumping ahead.
I dumped all my camera footage and then watched a tiny bit of F1 and fell asleep.
Yeah, I pretty much.
about that.
We went downstairs and had a gin or two at the hotel that we were staying at.
Yeah, I reckon we just had
And
a
then
couple quiet gins.
A couple of
And
quiet gins. We were trying local stuff and then headed back upstairs and I watched F1 qualifying and then fell asleep and away we go.
was
was a bit of a-
quietly wishing I was in Singapore, but that's right.
It was a bit of a different match because everybody was spread across 4 or 5 towns as well.
Yeah, yeah.
All of the competitors were staying sort of everywhere. So there wasn't one pub where everybody sort of
Just
could
happened to
congregate or something.
like Buchan where
Yeah.
there's one pub and there's
Yeah.
only one place to be and everyone's there.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, Plushy, we're gonna hold off on getting into Sunday, but I want to get into Sunday. I want to ask you a bunch of things, and also there's the exciting event that happened Monday that we need to delve into.
we need to talk about that.
We
The
definitely-
real match was on Monday.
The actual competition where it all
Yeah, I've got
went down.
screenshots from that one.
Yeah, there's all happened. Anyway, we're going to get into that next episode. So, Plushy, thanks for hanging out tonight. Thanks for everyone
Thanks for
in the
having me.
comments. And Josh, wrap us up, mate.
I will.
Do that.